Elections in Ghana, and joining us is legal practitioner Robert Emokwaro to discuss the presidential elections. Glad to have you on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, the AU observers say they're satisfied with the elections in Ghana. Do you agree with them?
Yes, well, I think if you place this observation within the backdrop of the history of elections in Ghana since 1992, we've had peaceful transition of democratic power over a longer period than we have had in Nigeria. And they are seen as a beacon of democracy in the sub-Saharan Africa. So I think that they have acquired some measure of credibility in conducting elections in which the votes of the electorate substantially are reflected in the results that are declared by the Electoral Commission.
It appears it's an era of change with the elections held in Gambia and even the U.S. Now, do you see a similar scenario in Ghana?
Well, I think it does appear that there is this broad wind of change that is sweeping through most countries, particularly when you place that within the backdrop of the economic situation. Like in Ghana, for example, they are experiencing some serious economic downturn in Ghana, and coupled with that, there are also challenges that the previous government has had with corruption scandal. So this desire for change has also caught on in Ghana, and there is the possibility, the strong possibility that wind of change will also blow through in Ghana, having regard to these two issues of economic challenges and this spectre of corruption that has been particularly made against the present government of Dramani Mahama.
There are a lot of similarities between Nigeria and Ghana, of course. But what do you think Nigeria needs to learn from these elections?
I think one thing that Nigeria must try to imbibe from the Ghanaian experience is the culture of credible conduct of election. Ghana has a history of conducting substantially transparent and acceptable election results. But in Nigeria, we don't have that history at all of elections that are not challenged. More often than not, anytime INEC declares election results, there is so much grievance expressed by the contestants, and people end up filing so many election petitions challenging the result of the election. So one thing I noticed is that we have to try as much as possible to imbibe our own arrangement where the vote of the voter actually counts, and the results declared substantially reflect this desire of the voter.
Robert Emokwaro, legal practitioner, thank you for your time. Moving on now, about 30,000 residents of Otodogbame slum in Lagos, Nigeria have been left homeless as the state seeks to make room for prime development. Activists say about 300,000 people face eviction, many of whom have lived on the shores of the Lagos Lagoon for more than a century.
Once a bustling informal settlement in Nigeria's biggest city, Lagos, all that's now left of Otodogbame is a heap of demolished structure and ruined property, all destroyed during state-ordered demolition and fighting between rival communities last month. According to the Nigerian Slum and Informal Settlement Federation, a network of activists working in Nigerian slum communities, more than 300,000 people face eviction and could be left homeless as prime waterfront in the city is cleared of shanty towns to make way for luxury redevelopment. The governor of Lagos State, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, announced the demolition of all the shanties around the creeks and waterways of Lagos State on October the 9th, citing public health and safety concerns. Campaigners say despite a High Court order to stop evictions issued on November the 7th, more than 40 slum communities who live on Lagos Lagoon now face eviction.
More than 200 police, Nigeria police, came in and started burning our houses, started put fire on the house. They came with petrol. When they poured petrol in your house, they shoot gun, and the house caught fire. More than 3,000 houses are burning. So the church, the schools, the hospital, everything has gone. And during that operation, we lost more than. During that operation, we lost 20 people. 20 people jumped into the water.
And we want Lagos State government, federal, and the whole world to make a proper investigation into this matter. So and bring the culprit, bring them to book. So we want justice. So we have been living here for a long time. So we don't have any other place to go. This is our home. We can't move an inch from here.
Lagos police have denied claims that they destroyed buildings and said they've made several arrests of arsonists. Human rights group Amnesty International says that Lagos state authorities must take immediate steps to provide alternative accommodation for the tens of thousands made homeless in direct contravention of a court order when their homes were deliberately set alight. Many residents who were at work during the demolitions have since gone back to try and salvage whatever they can.
This is not the kind of change we voted for. We voted for a positive change, not a negative one. Destroying people's life and properties doesn't make sense. It's affecting us. Now, no provision. Some people don't have a place to do business.
They sleep on the sand.
And some people they are managing here. This is where they're sleeping. And if you go down there, you see some of them, they put net outside. That was where they slept. Okay, well, had even rain fell in the night, what happens to them? And we say we have government. This is a wicked government. We don't expect this kind of thing from whosoever is in charge.
Coming up after the break, Mali holds its first festival of disabled people. Do join us again.